Well, hello there, friendos. How are we doing today? I hope you're all having an absolutely wonderful day, blessed by God and all that cool stuff. Blessed by Isha, maybe. Blessed by Sigmar. Blessed by Makali, of course. Makali is bestest, 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 bestest. And this is my new Shadow Warrior lady. Her name is Matatrita. She is named after the mother of Guru Nanak, and I like that name because I think it is a good reminder for us to respect and remember that women are great and cool and can raise great people, and they can also be great people, and all that fun stuff. So good, just a little reminder there. I always enjoy, uh, you know, little reminders of cool, strong women doing cool things, as well as women like Sita and all those others. And hey, what's this guy doing here? He looks like he's doing a death, so I'm gonna clap for his death. Sometimes you get to ascend when you die, so good reincarnation and all that stuff. I don't know if the spirit here wants me to do that, but hey, it's a it's a free blighted isle. I can. It's my not funeral, and I can come and say, hey, don't worry, death is just part of the journey. If I want to, I can run up to the people and be like, hey, how you doing? Like, what happens if I do something? What is something special? Ding dong dong ding 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 ding. There you go. All that good stuff. Sometimes you just gotta go ding dong 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 dong. And then if you get in the right mood, you'll meet some elf hillbillies, and that'll be great. Yeah, actually hillbillies, if you ever meet them, the people who actually will self-identify as hillbilly, they're pretty nice. I like them. Usually good folk. I don't drink moonshine, although I did actually have a guy offer me moonshine once, and I thought that was kind of funny. I was like, no, thank you, sir. It is not the way of the cat to partake in such things. However, I greatly appreciate your desire to share. So I will, say, I hope that you will unlock the secrets of the guru in like a cool way. And all that fun stuff. And I always greatly enjoy stories about women doing cool things. I guess it's partially just because like I feel like a lot of stories I read, especially like fantasy or sci-fi, it's like, well, sci-fi a little bit less so, but in a lot of fantasy stories, it's like, no, the dude is cool. I tried reading the Wheel of Time series, and that series just feels kind of weird and horny at certain parts where it's just like, and then the lady crossed her arms and it was under her breast. It was like, she crossed her arms under her breast. It's like, why do you have to describe it like that? Just say that she crossed her arms. That would be perfectly fine, and I would be like knowing exact. It's not like if you say, if you don't say under the breast, I won't know what you're talking about. It's like it's just silly stuff sometimes. But it's also not that big of a deal, I suppose. Um, and I will say that I greatly enjoy just uh, strong women in general, just as like a theme. It's just fun. I enjoy it. I created this whole hyena race, the Kaftari, where the whole idea was that like, well, it's like actual like spotted hyenas, where the I think it's the spotted one. I think striped hyenas do this as well, but I'm not 100%. I think, but spotted hyenas, like the females are more aggressive and will tend to do more uh like fighting over territory and stuff and things like that. And I had a whole thing where like the idea was to point out that it doesn't really matter if it's male or female. It's like people in power will do these things to defend their power and like might abuse their power and things like that. And like the males in that society were generally looked at as almost in some of the tribes are basically considered like someone wanted to talk to me. So I would say, oh yeah, like so, like sometimes the males of the tribes would be like almost disposable, and in like particularly abusive tribes, like they're all their males would start to like try to find ways to leave and go into other societies where they would be treated better and things like that. And I think it was a pretty interesting little reversal of the typical thingamahoozit, you know. Hey, how you doing? Arrowed. Um, but you know, it's kind of more about like talking about like how power, like ultimately, like people are willing to do anything, especially if they can maintain their power while doing so. And like you know, good people are the ones that will not abuse that power and will, you know, look for the betterment of those around them and things like that. And I thought that was just kind of a little fun concept to play around with. It was always good. One of the things I kind of complained about with old Warhammer Fantasy is that like they would have like female warriors and stuff like in the lore sometimes, but like they very rarely, if ever, were like models, especially like you had very few female models. Interestingly enough, I think the only two mainline female troops, just so as in just like spearman type deal, were the Dark Elf spearmen. You could get female torsos, although other than that they looked completely the same. And the Glade Guard, some of the Glade Guard were female. There were, I think, mostly other than that, there was, if there was like a female model, it was probably like a caster. Like you had the some of the ladies for the Bretonnians, the maidens. I can't remember. Why can't I remember what the female Bretonnian spell ladies were called? I cannot remember for the life of me what they were actually called. But you know, there were a couple of those. There were a couple of female wizards, but not very many. There was Marathi and the sorceress for the Dark Elves. There was also the there was, I think, a spell weaver for the Wood Elves. Almost every single Empire model was a man, was male. There were there were Witch Elves, of course. A lot of them were like Wood Elves or Dark Elves. There was like a female, at least one spellcaster for the High Elves as well. Pretty sure there, at least none are coming to mind of any like female leaders that were for High Elves. Yeah, and even for Dark Elves, I think it was mostly just like Marathi and like sorceresses, which is kind of interesting. I also find it very interesting. So that like this game, as much as I like it, it's like one of my little criticisms is like, okay, so when it's an all-female class like the sorceress, they're willing to let you make male sorcerers. Okay. They don't let you make male witch elves. I guess whatever. But they don't let you make female chosen. They don't let you make female marauders. I find both of that kind of irksome. It's one of those things where it's just like I would probably play Chaos more if I could at least make a cool like barbarian warlord lady. That would be fun, you know. But no, like no, it's just a dude fest. It's like oh, it's just a sausage fest unless you want to make the Magus or the Zealot. And Zealot, I don't know. I just find Zealot like the way they move kind of funny. Like I think it's supposed to be like, but it just looks more like you look like a goblin head. But you know, it's kind of whatever in a lot of cases. Interestingly enough, I think Warhammer Total War does at least a little bit better job of this because you can get multiple female leaders, or way more, which is kind of cool. I like that. I don't think there's. I think there's a female leader for the Empire, which is a little lame because Empire is one of my favorite peoples, but at the same time, I think you might have to create one. I guess there's a couple of countesses and different people you could throw in there. You could put in Ulrika, which would actually be kind of an interesting choice. But you know, there's a couple, but not as many as I would like. And you know, I don't necessarily think that's also like necessarily the biggest deal. It's just I would like that more, you know. I don't even know why I was going through just killing all the... I guess it's because I wanted to bring my kill count of Dark Elves up. Let's see. I'm at 38. Yeah. 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 Dead Elves. Yeah. Powerful. I'm a powerful lady. But it is kind of interesting to see that. One thing I will definitely say for Age of Sigmar is way better with, like, you can actually, you know, go out and get, you can participate as like a, like there are lots of way more female characters and there's way more female soldiers, and just I think it's genuinely just a lot better for that sort of thing. And so I think that's pretty cool. Oh. Cool. Just give me just a second so I can turn this quest in. And now let's... Yes, let's go. Yay! I also think it's kind of interesting if you look at like the various like something that's kind of I've found kind of annoying sometimes when I... Ooh, I like your hair. Wave, and now I'm gonna wave, and now I'm gonna wave, and now I'm gonna wave, and this Slayer is the only one I think I haven't waved to. Okay, cool. And we're gonna put this right in there. Okay. I had a couple of people wave back. That's cool. Do. But yeah, like as a person who likes miniatures, I have found that there's in recent years it's gotten a lot better, but it's like it's kind of annoying, like the amount of like if you wanted to get a female miniature, what you're gonna get is like some lady with her boobies out, or like a, you know, very, very sexualized. A lot of poses are very sexualized, and it's just like, yeah, just, you know, not really my bag, man. I'm really much more into you know, actually, where's the... Is Menzo the one I want? No, Menzo's not the one. Okay, that's the one I want. This flamer here's mildly annoying. Please stop hitting me with your thing. I probably should have been focusing on the other things, but it's like I want to kill D-men. Hello, how are you? Oh my lord. I spun around with that one. But you know, like a lot of them were very sexualized, and I think we've gotten a lot better with some of that stuff. I just like having like, I just want like a cool lady in armor, you know, to fight alongside my cool dudes in armor. Like you know, if we're doing like a medieval thing, or I want like just some lady riflemen, or you know, like whatever. And there are some companies which have done a really good job with this. I would say that Corvus Belli is pretty good about making so there's a decent number of female models to male models. Sometimes there's a couple of things that are a little annoying, like the Nafutan are some of my favorite models in Hawk Islam, except for there's one lady. Like, one lady looks just like normal. She just looks like a male Nafutan, which is, you know, with more female proportions, like a little skinnier, I guess. And, you know, built a little different. She's built different. Oh my goodness, that is a lot of dudes. Why are there so many dudes? Oh my goodness, I'm about to die. Oop, there it is. I guess I need to remember that I'm playing a Shadow Warrior and not run right up the map. Right, because I think we might have a problem. But, one of the Lady Nefutan, for some reason, has her hair out, and it's just, like, really long and flowing. But they're, like, flamethrower units, so you're just sitting there going, why does she have long flowing, why is her hair, like, out like that? That just seems very silly. Ooh, butt crack. But there's also, you know, cool figures, like some of the figures do kind of have a little bit of, like, okay, they're showing off their butt going on, or, like, you know, just, like, some of the poses sometimes are a little bit, like, I think I might be dead. Yep. Not a great time for that. But it's fine. But, you know, like, there's you know, it's not all like that. But there's a couple where I'm like, oh, that's kind of like a weird, why is she posing with her butt? But then there's plenty also as well that are not like that. And, you know, some artistic depictions, I understand you. It's not like it's completely evil, you know, to have, like, a little bit of sexuality within certain miniatures and things like that. And I don't. Oh wow, that was that was fast. You know, there's nothing necessarily wrong with that. It's just that I like it when it's not. That's not the only option. You know, you can have some, like, you can have your witch elves who are kind of like weird sexualized stabby ladies. If I can also just have, like, some ladies who are just, you know, cool ladies in armor, just looking cool. You know, I don't know. And you know, that's not also to say that, like, those two are necessarily mutually exclusive. I have talked to some ladies who collect miniatures in the past who said they actually kind of like the sexy type of figures and things like that. And I'm like, okay, you know, part of it is just, like, for me, I just want it to just not be entirely the sexy thing, like, because I personally find it a little bit distracting, and not in the sense where I'm like, ooh, ogle. It's more like, you know, like, oh, this is a professional soldier. You're going into, you know, you're going into warfare and things like that. I don't think you should necessarily have, like, how do I wait? I want to, and I don't think I've waved to this one yet. And there, so much waving. I love waving. Oh wait, we don't do that in this one. Doi doi. Ahoy hoy. I like how this person is just named Not Today. But you know, it's like, well, if we're, like, professional soldiers and we're going into combat and stuff like that, it's like, milady, why art thou tits exposed? Will man not simply stabbeth thee thereth? Meoweth? You know what I mean, Jimmy Dean? It's stuff like that where it's like, and it's not even necessarily like it's always, like, a terrible thing. I understand, and you know, like, I'm not a prude or anything like that. It was just, you know, for what I like, it's like, I want professional soldiers who are gonna fight and, you know, do their job, and they're gonna do it in, like, a professional manner, and, like, when your butt's, like, half sticking out, and, like, you're not even, like, covered, and, like, you don't even seem to have armor and things like that on, or you don't even seem like you're like, not even wearing, like, the bare minimum of clothing to, like, function in some of these things. It's that's when it gets much more like, I kind of just want to have this. I probably shouldn't have selected need there, but you know, a lot of that stuff is just like, ooh, we're just getting our butts handed to us, aren't we? Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna, I don't know if we're gonna get this one. Oh, here, let me shoot Squig. Shoot Squig Lord. Well, yeah, I don't really know if we're gonna get this one. Well, this is just like a weird standoff. Yeah, look at that. Now this man's coming up close to me. Don't sweat the technique. Yay, killed him. Excellent. Got at least a couple. Oops. I thought I could maybe get him before he... I don't use any of those. At least not right now, anyway. But, you know, and this is kind of a thing. I would argue that a decent number of the like miniature market that I've encountered seems like it's kind of weird when it comes to like, or like, you know, like there's a lot of like fantasy art out there that just feels kind of weird in comparison to oh hey, nice 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 Sue. I do have an archmage. You know, like weird, kind of weird when it comes to like the way they portray women and things like that. And I just want more cool ladies doing cool guy things, cool guy lady things, lady guy things, whatever that means. Oh no, they have Ranave. Oh my, that's a lot more dudes. Hello, I'm gonna stab at you. How are you? May I shoot you? Do you mind? I mean, I'm assuming you mind, but you know. Whatever, my guy. Squig hunting. Squig hunting. Squig hunting. You know, like, or just, I think the miniature stuff is getting better just in general, and I'm very glad for that. I'm glad that we're getting more diversity in the miniatures, and they just look neater, and just, I like that a lot. I also like it when you can actually make soldiers that look like they're kind of like rough and tumble, and not just, like, really clean either, so it's like, it kind of, you know, it depends. Hey, what am I trying to focus on here? Yeah, I'll shoot that guy. Why not? Ow, 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 ow. Bonk. But, you know, that is simply the cat's thoughts on those sorts of things. Cat likes painting, and Cat likes having female miniatures that are cool. Without being... Oh, excuse me. Without being overly sexualized. And I don't think that's too much to ask. And I found that, like, if you go into, like, the 3D printed ranges of stuff, I think you can actually get a pretty decent, like, diversity in figures and things like that. And, it's just, like, another thing I greatly enjoy, Middle Eastern aesthetics. And I also really like, for instance, like with modern stuff, I like Russian and Eastern European weaponry and arms, and I've always been a big fan of the Kalashnikov. And you can get all kinds of interesting modern military stuff too. And is like one of the really nice things here. But I also think that something that's really kind of improved my feelings towards a lot of the nice. That was a pretty good try, I think. That's kind of improved my feelings towards a lot of these miniatures and miniature companies and things like that. Is Games Workshop not necessarily being the only place that you can get a lot of different miniatures anymore, which is really nice. I really like, for instance, like getting my high elves and wood elves and dark elves and things like that from like 3D printed stuff. I think that's been pretty nice to just have as a thing, you know. Anyway, I don't know. I just felt like sharing some of my thoughts on that kind of stuff, and I hope that you're all having a wonderful day and maybe you found that interesting. Anyway, I love you. Bye. God loves you. Bye. And we all love you together. Bye-bye. Have a great one.